Bang. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Another day of just me, your boy, Monty. CJ and John are getting some much deserved R&R. I talked to them yesterday. They're in Puerto Rico, which has become basically the hub of crypto. So although they're on vacation, they're still networking and talking crypto. So still getting some important stuff done. But let's hop right into it because we're seeing some exciting stuff today. And I'm just going to do some quick TA for you guys, walk you through some things that I'm seeing in the markets. And obviously, I'm going to hit the big words, Bitcoin and Ethereum, because, Ethereum seems to have been an absolute monster recently. So let's get to that and let's look at the TA and where I'm thinking price is going. But first, let's start with Bitcoin. Let's hop into this. So this is the daily chart for Bitcoin. This is what I'm seeing on the daily chart. I talk a lot about the value of the 20 period SMA. And, the way I use it is essentially if it crosses above it, I think it's a good indication to go long. As you can see back here at the beginning of March, when we crossed above this 20 period moving average, if you would have used this as an indication to enter a long trade, you would have been carried all the way up to the previous all-time high of 61.7K. And it works in the opposite direction too. As you can see here, when we broke below this 20 period moving average, we went all the way down to retest 47K, a very significant correction. And this is a very simple trading strategy, but it's one that, I think is very important to apply to crypto. It's widely popular in traditional finance. And, I don't see too many crypto traders talking about it. They love to look at macro cycles, stock to flow model and stuff like that. But in the interim, I love using this 20 period SMA as a gauge of when to enter or exit the market. And getting to my point, right now we're testing this level, right? We're pushing up against it. And that's why I think today could be a very critical day for Bitcoin. If we break below this level, it could drop even further and retest this level of 47K. That is not out of the realm of possibility. What also could happen if we don't close below this level, we could get a bounce back up to 61K. I think that's less likely. And let me tell you why. I think it's less likely because of this right here. And that's Bitcoin dominance. I think if Bitcoin does drop below this 20 period moving average, it actually could ultimately be good for the rest of the market. If you've been trading crypto for a while, you're probably used to the market moving in tandem. Bitcoin goes up, the alts go up. But that's not the case right now because there's such diversity in the market and ETH is just performing so well. It's starting to steal some of that market cap away from Bitcoin. And that's indicative here in this Bitcoin dominance chart. It's at a 3-year low. It hasn't been this low since 2018, the last time we saw such a massive influx of retail speculation into altcoins. And, it's dropping below 50%, continuing to climb down. And a large part of that is due to the fact that ETH is just on a tear, like I mentioned, So one thing that I get asked a lot is how low can this Bitcoin dominance metric go? Can it go to 30%? And my answer is yes, it can. One thing that I talked about yesterday on Trade the Chain was the fact that Bitcoin has so much of the market share currently, despite the fact that its utility is relatively narrow-minded. It's a store of value, and it's great at that. It's maybe the most sound money ever created. But the fact of the matter is Ethereum is building a lot of, or there's being a lot of projects built on the Ethereum blockchain that serve various utilities, wide-spanning utilities that service the banking sector, lending and borrowing, all sorts of different things. So I do think there's room to give up in terms of market dominance. And I think this could go as low as we've seen it in the past of 37%. And if that does happen, that'd be tremendously bullish for ETH. So let's move on to ETH real quick. This has just been an absolute tear. It's topping out on this TD sequential 9, which I think is definitely worth mentioning. It's also, hitting that psychological resistance of 3,500. I talked a lot about the importance of the psychological resistance at 3,000. Back here, we got this doji candle and we had incredible volume. People were expecting maybe a reversal here on this doji because we were at 3K, a psychological level where people that had, entered the market back here perhaps put in a sell order at 3K. That's a $1,000 profit on a single Ethereum. So, that's a very tidy profit. And I'm sure a lot of people, like I said, that got in back here had limit sell orders placed around 3K. So when Ethereum overcame that and closed above and was able to continue the bullish momentum yesterday, it was just such a great sign for the Ethereum bulls that they had broken through that 3K level. And now we're facing a similar thing here. We're at this critical resistance of 3,500. So I just want to look at the 4-hour chart real quick, because I think this is important too. I talked with Bitcoin about the importance of this 20 period moving average, right? And with ETH on the 4-hour chart, this 20 period moving average is a lot tighter to the current price. Oh, whoops, hold on, sorry. Here we go. This is the chart I'm talking about. Sorry about that. So here on this ETH chart, right? Take a look at this. Okay, so this is the 4-hour ETH chart. And as you can see, we kind of topped here around this 3,500 level. This is really interesting for me because I think the potential of bouncing off this 20 period moving average is actually somewhat likely. So as you can see, when we first made this move up, we bounced back and hit this 20 period moving average and continued to move upward. So look at how well the trend has followed this 20 period moving average in the last couple of weeks. This is so important because when this does break, it's going to be significant. But I don't think it's going to break today. I think this could continue running up, and this is for me the most critical level to watch right here. Just watch the 4-hour chart for ETH. Watch the volume particularly, because as you can see today, we're getting almost as much volume as we got in the previous 4-hour candle already, and we still have another hour to go on this candle. So it's encouraging to me that we're seeing tremendous volume in ETH to start the day, and that it hasn't really reverted yet. I think there is a possibility of a slight reversion back to this moving average, meaning that we'll break maybe the 3,400 level, dip back into 3,300s. That could scare a lot of traders into taking profits, and that may be the catalyst to break us below. But because of all the things I mentioned, with this Bitcoin dominance chart reaching a 3-month low, with Bitcoin pressing up against this 20 period moving average, I think there's good reason to believe that ETH is going to continue seeing a lot of speculation, and this volume is going to continue to climb. So just watch the volume, watch the 4-hour chart, keep an eye on this 20 period moving average. But for me, I'm still bullish on ETH. And full disclosure, I hold ETH. I've been holding ETH for a very long time, and I continue to hold it. And I plan to continue to hold it. So that's what I got for ETH. But without further ado, I want to hop into our doges of the day today, because I have one that I don't think I've ever talked about for you guys. So I think it could be potentially an interesting play, one that you guys haven't gotten exposure to yet, and that is Avalanche, or AVAX. So this is one that struck me as interesting for a couple of reasons. One thing in particular, if you guys have been watching the show, you probably know by now that I love assets that have come down from a recent high and then are now showing newfound strength. That's exactly what we're seeing here in AVAX. On the 4-hour chart, we topped at $42 back when the rest of the market was topping. But since we saw a significant correction, this candle right here scared a lot of people. Look at that volume. Really just an incredible bearish candle, and it drove price down substantially. And this, for me, when it happened, obviously it was very bearish, but now that it's behind us and we've shown relatively good strength, it kind of has skewed the value of Avalanche, in my opinion. This was a massive one-off sell-off, something that, was fueled by the tax rumors and whatnot. So I think now that we've shown sustained growth, we can make back up this. We've already made back up this ground, right? Just by genuine sustained growth. I think now once we break above this level, we could see a move comparable to this candle to the upside, because we're currently testing these critical levels of 34, these two critical levels at 34 of 34.69 and 34.37. But if we can close above this level on the 4-hour chart, I think AVAX is well poised to make a run to this previous all-time high of just around $41. So that would be a really nice move. If that did happen, maybe consider taking some profits. But I think that this is still one that can continue seeing growth. We've talked a lot about Zero Exchange and their value of a decentralized exchange and the novel approach they're bringing to it. It's actually built on top of the Avalanche blockchain. So, this is another play kind of upstream from the zero exchange play that I've seen a lot of you guys making in our community. So I thought I would just bring this to your attention. AVAX, currently at a $34 price level, but I do think it could make a run up to $41 by the end of the week. So that's all I got for you guys today in terms of technicals. I did want to leave you with one piece of information closing up. I actually just finished the DeFi course over the weekend. A lot of people had been asking for it. So here it is, our DeFi course, Introduction to Decentralized Finance. It's actually free. It's going to be free for a limited time like we did with our NFT course. So go check it out. If you're a member, you already have access. You can gain it through the education curriculum, or you can just go on Twitter. It's our pinned tweet. You can check out this link right here. But yeah, it's just an introduction to DeFi. If you want to learn what DeFi is, what makes it unique, how it addresses the issues with traditional finance, and sort of where to get exposure to the DeFi space, this is a good introduction. I'm definitely planning on building it out and going more in depth with some specific DeFi projects. But yeah, that'll keep coming as I keep dropping courses. I'm already started working on the next one, an introduction to staking. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna take my time with that one, make sure it's very good, because that's an important one in terms of security with people's funds. But yeah, go check out our DeFi course. Give me some feedback. There's a 10-question quiz, 5-page handout, and a 20-minute video. So go check it out. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, you can check out a free trial at or $1 trial at markrebellion.com/trycrypto. It's just $1 for the first month. Pro charting service, community of ever-growing traders, trade insights with stop losses, entries, exits, the whole deal. So come hang out with us. Also, thank you to Voyager for sponsoring this podcast. And I will leave it there for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.